let me tell you about this razor generally.
Shave it up!
Hey everybody, Clean Shaver here. I'm back with a beard and with another video. I apologize that it's been a little while. For the life of me, I can't figure out what happened to the little memory card that goes in the back of my camera. Stuff disappears in my house. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I have kids. It just happens. Anyway, this is a review of the Colonial Razors General Razor. This is the single edge. It uses those longer Artist Club style blades, not the half DE blades or the gem style blades. This is a different kind of blade. Same kind that the Mongoose, the Cobra, and a handful of other SE razors use. Initial thoughts with this razor. Really, I find very little wrong with it. And we'll get into that in the points here in just a minute. But overall, I've enjoyed shaving with it. It's well made, and the build quality is pretty good. Let's get into the points and we'll discuss it a little bit more in depth. Anybody that's watching any of my razor reviews knows that I grade on 4 things: design, efficiency, price, and cool factor. Okay, so let's go into design. Design-wise, pretty basic, pretty simple, but not at the same time. It's actually very well designed. From a artistic standpoint, aesthetically, I think there are probably some improvements that can be made, but from a technical standpoint, it's really hard to make any kind of improvements. We'll start with the head. Okay, so the way that this head is designed, like I said, it uses the Feather Artist Clubs, or the Artist Club style blades that are longer, right? And the way that this head is designed, it's so minimalistic that there's just 2 little nubs right there. I don't know if you can see them in the camera there, that perfectly lock the blade in place. That's been a really hard thing with a lot of other single edge razors, is that they're kind of a pain to load. But this one, you set it on there, set the top cap on there, it fits exactly in. I know that it's not going anywhere. It's perfect. It's great. That's kudos on that. Great job on that. And of course, it uses a standard size thread, so you can put another kind of handle on there if you'd like. This is made out of aluminum, so it is going to be really light. On the other hand, it's made of aluminum, so it's going to be really light. Wait, did I just say the same thing twice? I did, but there's a reason why. It depends on what you like. Okay, I generally tend to veer more toward heavier razors. Some people really like the light razors. Some people like the light heads and the heavy handles. Some people like the heavy heads and the light handles. At any rate, it weighs 46 grams. It is made of aluminum. Very well built, very well put together. I feel it's a bit light for me. I generally don't tend to like light razors because I like to have the weight of the razor do the work for me when I'm shaving, even on my head. And because of that, I usually feel like I have to overcompensate with added pressure. I know that I don't have to. In the back of my mind, I know I don't have to. But there's always this little piece of me that says, you're not pushing hard enough, you're not getting enough on there. And it's really hard to combat that. So I generally tend to veer more toward heavy razors. But a lot of guys really like light razors, and this is definitely a light razor. It's not heavy at all. So there's that. The handle itself, not bad. I think it could do with a little more grip. It's smooth right now. It does stand up, which I've seen some razor handles that are completely rounded on the bottom, and that kind of annoys me. And this one, I like them to stand up for pictures and stuff like that, but that's totally superficial. But this one does stand up on its own. It's a little hard. You have to get the balance right, or maybe you just have to be on a perfectly level surface. I do feel like if there was a little bit of knurling in the handle, it would be a little better. Lengthwise, I think it's great. The one thing about the design that really kind of gets me though is, and this is completely a personal preference thing, I don't like black razors. Aesthetically, they look pretty good, but the fact that there's so much soap residue that gets on there and it's always right there when you're done shaving, it kind of bugs me. It's just me. I always have to wipe it off and I always have to clean it, and it's just, especially if I want it to look good for pictures. I know I'm totally shallow. Anyway, it just irks me a little bit. I would love to see a polished version of this. I think that would look great. Probably even a little better than this, but that's personal preference. So that's just me. Overall, I decided to give design an 8.5. So pretty good. B plus-ish. Okay. Efficiency, I gave it a 9. This is a mild shaver. It's not aggressive at all. In fact, I mean, I could probably have done 2 more passes on my neck and on my head, and I don't know what else I would have picked up, but it wouldn't have irritated me much more at all. It's really a very mild shaver, very easy shaver, and especially using the Artist Club style blades, they're more stiff than a double-edged razor, so they cause less irritation. So it can be mild and still be very efficient at the same time. It's very well put together. So for efficiency, I decided to give it a 9. Reason I knocked it down just a little bit is because, I don't know, lately I'm starting to veer more toward middle aggression. Maybe that's just because I'm getting more advanced in my shaving ability, but I tend to like a little bit more blade feel on my head and face when I shave my face. Price, 10, man. I'll tell you why. This razor, they're aiming for $79. $79 for a very well put together, very well designed razor that will shave you with the Artist Club style blades that are going to compete with the Mongoose and the Cobra and the Above the Tie SE1. Forget it, man. $80 for this, it's a friggin' steal. And you're just not going to get, and there are so many people that are wanting to save up and get those awesome razors like the Mongoose, the Cobra, and those types. I've shaved with those, and they're good shavers, but they're expensive. They're really expensive. And this comes in at half the price. Man, forget it. It's smart. It's really smart. They've made a less expensive one that's more entry level for a lot more people. It's not going to be as heavy or as luxury feel maybe as some of the others, but it's still going to shave you really well and give you a good result. Then, for cool factor, I debated on this one a little bit. I decided to give cool factor an 8.5. Now, the reason why, I'm kind of not a big fan of the name. The General, not that it's a bad name, and I didn't make the razor, so I don't get to make up the name. Fine, whatever. I think it's kind of boring. I think that there's probably some better name out there for it, but like I said, not my razor, not my name. So that, and like I said before, it's kind of a minimalistic look, so it's a little bit chic in that way, but at the same time, it's a bit drab. I hate to say it, and maybe it's just because I've been using it for a little while, but it doesn't invoke attention like other razors do. And so it's not as eye-catching necessarily. Maybe that's what they're going for, but to me, it's just missing that little bit of something that, from the looks perspective and from the branding and name perspective, it's just missing that certain something. Not that it's bad, but I think there's some improvements that can be made there. Some guy walks into your bathroom and sees this sitting on the counter and say, "Dude, is that your razor?" "Yeah." "Cool." Yeah, that'd be the conversation. So overall, I decided to give it 8.5 for cool factor, which gives us a total of 36 out of 40, or a 90%. That's an A-. So, I mean, it's still a good razor, and especially for the price, you really can't go wrong for that. It's going to serve you very well. A side note on these Artist Club style blades, they do last a lot longer than a DE blade. I think this one is on I just had my 9th shave with this one blade, and they're still, I'm sure there's still a good another 3 or 4 more that are left on it. So they do outlast. They are more expensive up front, but they do outlast the DE blades and even the gem blades. So A- for the General. I know I'm going to get this question, so I'm just going to address it right now. How does this compare to the Mongoose or the Cobra? I can't compare it to the Above the Tie SE1 because I haven't tried that yet. Comparing this to the Mongoose and the Cobra, you really can't. I mean, you can compare anything, but whether or not it's a fair comparison is a completely different issue. It's not a fair comparison because this is a completely different razor. It's totally different in weight, in feel. The Mongoose, I mean, granted, it uses the same size blades. The Mongoose and the Cobra, the Mongoose in particular, it felt like a a workout to maneuver it. I really didn't enjoy shaving with it. This, it's really not a big deal. The only place where I get a little bit of a hang up, and it's only because I'm growing a beard right now, is right here trying to go across because I can't get enough flat area to get it across. But other than that, no issues whatsoever with this. It's a great feel. It's a completely different weight class and it's a completely different price class than those other razors. So it's really not a fair comparison. I know people are going to ask me if I had the money to do a Mongoose or Cobra or this, I would probably save the money and get this. If I'm being completely 100% frank. Because I can do the same kind of stuff with this that I can do with the Mongoose. I can swap out the handle, I can maneuver it better. It just has a better feel to me. So I'll put that out there. Mongoose is still a good razor. Cobra is still a good razor. This, I would probably take this over them. So that's my review of the Colonial Razors, the General Single Edge Razor. If you have any questions for me, comments, inquiries, suggestions, I don't like complaints, so skip those. Put them down in the comment section below. Love to hear from you and look forward to your feedback. I always love hearing from my viewers. I apologize for the lack of my videos lately. I have been incredibly busy with work and with family. There's just been a ton going on. I promise I've got a bunch of things lined up, so I'm going to be working on those and just kind of trying to take one bite at a time, get them knocked out, and get them done. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. Find me on all my social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, Voicebyte, Snapchat. Have I sent a snap yet? I don't think I have. Anyway, find me on all the social media outlets. The links are down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Be smooth, shave it up. We'll see you next time.